Good morning, students. This is Dr. Vallemai, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, and I belong to Dr. MJR Educational and Research Institute. Now, in the previous slides, we have seen about the various methods adopted to determine the molecular weight of the polymer. So that was considered as unit 1. Now moving on to the next unit, it is the topic where we are going to discuss about the kinetics and mechanism of polymerization. So before going on into detail, let us see the various, or you can say the two different types of polymerization, which is the result behind the polymerization process. Now in this, I'm just going to deal about the addition polymerization and the condensation polymerization in detail, and also I'm going to list out the difference between the addition and the condensation polymerization, and we'll just see about what is meant by polycondensation. Now the first one is, so first we'll see what is a polymer. Polymers are very different from other kinds of organic molecules that you have seen so far, whereas other compounds are of relatively low molecular mass. Polymers are giant molecules of very high molecular mass. So polymers are the preliminary components of all sorts of plastics and related compounds. Now, what is a polymer? A polymer is a large molecule formed by the combination of many smaller molecules covalently bonded in a repeating pattern. The small molecules which make up the polymers are called as monomers. So polymers generally form either from an addition or a condensation reactions. Here X is a halogen group. Allyl compounds, that is CH2. Here also you can see it is having a double bond. Olefins, again it is a double bond. Diene, it is a double bond. So those compounds which have an active double bonds can undergo addition polymerization reaction. So the chain polymerization involves successive stages of chain initiation, chain propagation, and chain termination. So this polymerization process can be brought by a free radical mechanism, or it can be ionic or coordination mechanism. The next one is the condensation polymerization. Now here the condensation polymerization is a form of step growth polymerization in which monomers, or you can say the oligomers, react with each other to form larger structural units while releasing smaller molecules as a byproduct, such as water, methanol, it can be even hydrochloric acid. So these are obtained as the byproduct. A very good example of a condensation reaction is the esterification of carboxylic acid with alcohol. If both monomers are difunctional, the condensation product is a linear polymer. If at least one of the monomer is tri or tetrafunctional, then the resulting polymer will be a cross-linked polymer, or in other words you can say it will be a three-dimensional network. So adding monomers with only one reactive group will terminate a growing chain and consequently lowers the average molecular weight. So from this we can conclude that if the monomers are difunctional, the polymer which is formed will be linear. So if the monomers are tri or tetrafunctional or more than that, then the resulting polymer will be a cross-linked polymer. So the average molecular weight and the cross-link density will depend on the functionality of the monomer involved in the condensation polymerization and also on the concentration of the mixture. See, a classic step growth condensation is the reaction between a dibasic acid and a glycol is shown below. Now see here, this is COOH, CH2, COOH. So this is a dibasic acid. Now here CH2OH and then CH2 if we take like this. So now this is nothing but it is a CH2OH and then it is CH2OH. So this is a glycol. This is also a double functional group. This is also a double functional group. Now from here the OH of this COOH and the H of this glycol is being removed. Okay. So it comes out as OH, right? H2O. So this is how the product is formed. Now in the same way, the resulting polymer is called as a polyester. The water is continuously removed from the reaction system because it is reactive with the ester linkages to reverse the reaction. Now here you can see terylene glycol, that is CH2OH, sorry, ethylene glycol, CH2OH and CH2OH. When this reacts with terephthalic acid, which is also a dibasic acid. Now here, as I told you earlier, the OH and the H from these two are being removed as water molecule and the remaining are being formed, which is called as a terylene molecule. Now we'll see the difference between the addition polymerization and the condensation polymerization. In addition polymerization, the molecular weight of the polymer is just the multiple of the molecular weight of the monomer. So how many monomers you take, that weight will be taken as the weight of the addition polymerization product, because it is only just the addition without any removal. Whereas in condensation polymerization, the molecular weight of the polymer is not necessarily a multiple of the molecular weight of the monomer, because certain molecules are removed as byproducts. So naturally you cannot have the same weight of the monomer. The second one, addition of polymer results in a polymer and no other byproduct is formed. That is, addition polymerization is just only adding up of the monomers without any removal. Whereas here monomers condense among themselves to form polymer and small molecules such as water, hydrochloric acid, methanol, ammonia, etc. are being removed. Now the third one is a molecule must have at least one multiple bond for its function as a monomer in addition polymerization. Whereas in condensation, it should have at least two identical or different functional groups like dicarboxylic acid, glycol, etc. Then it follows free radical or ionic or cationic or anionic mechanism, which involves initiation, propagation and termination. Here it follows condensation mechanisms such as esterification and amide formation. Here the catalyst used depends upon the mechanism, that is free radical initiators, that is the Lewis acids are used. Here the catalysts generally which are used are nothing but the mineral acids. Here thermoplastics are mostly formed by this process, whereas here it is thermosetting plastics which are being formed. So already in the previous slides and all we have seen what is meant by thermoplastic and what is a thermosetting plastics. Okay, right. Then the examples are polymerization of ethylene, vinyl chloride, styrene. Here it is formation of phenyl formaldehyde resins, silicones, polyesters, etc. Now next let us move on to polycondensation. See, polycondensation is brought about by the monomers containing two or more reactive functional groups such as hydroxyl, carboxyl, amino groups condensing with each other. Basic reactions here are the same as between various functional groups in low molecular weight organic compounds. For example, in the reaction with the hydroxyl group and a carboxyl group giving an ester, the water molecule is being removed. So for example, if you take methanol and acetic acid, it gives the following reaction, that is one molecule is removed and as a result you get methyl acetate. It is noted that in this methyl acetate formation, the reactive functional group, that is the hydroxyl groups and the carboxyl groups, are consumed, giving an unreactive functional group. So there is no more reactive functional group left in the product to react with the further any other reactant. Now suppose if you take ethylene glycol instead of methanol and made to react with acetic acid. So first, one molecule of ethylene glycol reacts with the one molecule of acetic acid, resulting in monoacetic ester of ethylene glycol. That is nothing but one functional group, that is the OH alone, reacts with the acetic acid and forms a monoacetic ester of ethylene glycol. Now here there is another OH group. So again this hydroxyl group, again this molecule can react with another acetic acid and form ethylene glycol diacetate. So hence for polycondensation, the monomer should have two reactive functional groups for polymerization to proceed. The polymerization proceeds stepwise reaction between the reactive functional group. Only one type of reaction between two functional groups are involved. Now here certain questions are given which are related to the topic which is being explained. So kindly try to attempt this. Thank you students.